Hey,
How you all?
it's nice to finally, have a little bit of time to speak. I know we have a whole bunch of conversations, but I wanted to thank you for being here.
My
I
pleasure.
wanted to thank you for sprucing everything up as women do. And yeah, so we're really gonna be talking about what love is in and of itself because a lot of people talk about their perspective on it, and we want to get to the bottom of what love actually is. And I will start first. I think love is a lifestyle. It's not just romance. I think it's a lifestyle. Uh just like when you go to the gym, you become a gym member. You don't just go to the gym every now and again. You're not gonna see anything, you know, tragic as far as a difference of a person who you are. So I think love is something that you become instead of these tangible, she brought me this, he did this for me, and things like that. I think it's the actual effort, the thoughts. Uh, what about you? What is your definition of?
I believe love itself is self-expression, authenticity, and no judgment. Being able to be oneself, express yourself, create what we're here to do, be creative, explore, live, and connect with each other. So I believe love itself, for one, is an expression of one's being and how we give it to the world. And loving is no judgment. Unconditional love is no judgment, and allowing a person to be themselves authentically, no pressure, no stress, no force, just allowing you to be and allowing you to explore life and what life is without confining you to anything or
Any
any
obstacles to
any
becoming a better version of yourself and
break. And which is why love requires patience, understanding, all the things, because it's allowing you to express yourself, learn yourself through all of life obstacles and trials and tribulations. So yeah, I think it's self-expression
mm,
at
is
its
that a
core.
matter of who's participating in it? Like as far as like, you know, who you're with or the people that you're around? Is it a matter of those people allowing you to be yourself as well? Or is it more so just choosing to show up as you every day?
Well, love itself, because the core of love is self-love, but it transitions into how you love. So it starts with self, and loving yourself is allowing you to give yourself that permission to be yourself without fearing people validation or lack thereof or anything that people limit you to. You don't put limits on yourself. You don't put yourself in a mental prison. You don't allow the world to box you in.
Right.
Love is, like I said, is self-expression. It's your authentic self, and you creating whatever talents you have and you exploring those talents without letting people put fear on you or titles on you. You title yourself. You be yourself. And when you love yourself, that's how you understand how to give love to others.
Also, it's a relationship. It's building, it's building more than just. It's like an interaction between yourself, your own thoughts and ideas, based upon who you authentically are, but also how you practice that in the external.
Well, that's secondhand. It first comes with how you are to self and how you understand yourself. In order to understand anything, you must understand self. You can't understand someone more than you understand, because you have to go from a perspective place. How would you know if you don't even know? You know what I'm saying? So it's a self thing. And this is why people say life is the best experience is the best teacher, because you experience something. Now you firsthand know how it feel. Now you understand how someone else can feel in that situation, even if you're not in that situation at the time. But also, that also opens you up to understand you don't even have to experience something
to experience love or to hit
have
love.
exactly, because you understand the basis of what it is and how it operates. So like I said, love is because it's so many avenues that it travel down, but it starts at the root of self. You see what I'm saying?
So you don't find love.
You are love.
You actualize it. You are love.
You are love, and you understand what love is by exploring who you are. And you bring out your talents, and you bring out your personality, and you bring it to the world. It's expressing yourself. And once you understand how to do that effortlessly, like unapologetic, but also mindfully, also considerably, like not just reckless. You know, so all those things tie into the journey as well. That's why it's self-expression. That's why it's understanding who you are. It's understanding what speaks to your spirit, what is calling you. You know what I'm saying? And we explore that here on this earth, in this realm. I don't want to get too deep. I don't want to get too deep.
I mean, you know, anything is possible. But I love how you said that the core of it is a self thing.
Yeah.
Because all of our outer, you know, appendages change. You know, the body, the way we look at things, the way we learn things may change over time. But you are coming from a place of love being already at that level. So instead of looking at the seed and waiting on it to grow, the love is already there. It's just more so a matter of how we treat ourselves, how we learn about ourselves, and how we connect to all of those different parts. So I like how you put, you know, a humanistic kind of, because I always feel like, I don't know, I always feel like I'm doing something wrong sometimes. Like, I always feel like, okay, well, I love being in love. Like, I love those aspects of love and even connecting to people, not even romantically, but I've always tried to like think for another person emotionally, not as far as like, you know, being somebody's like father, caregiver, nothing like that, but more so, how does this person feel about this? Or how would this person feel if I were to, you know? And for the most part, everything is good, but I always feel like I missed the mark on setting boundaries and not being my true self. So my boundaries are a little bit more of a protective kind of thing, and being my true self is me being, you know, vulnerable and everything like that. But there's always this battle between, do I set these boundaries and I don't even explore it, or do I allow this person to be, because I'm a very extreme person. Do I allow this person to know every single thing about me that I know about myself, or that I can, you know?
Well, with things like such, allowing a person into your private life, the inner you, is assessing that person first, because understanding that self-love helps you understand what love is and how to love, but it also helps you understand if someone else has self-love. So when you see a person that has true self-love, you understand that they possess the same qualities that love needs in order to work. So even if it's two people that, let's say, aren't compatible or compatible, if they both display the characteristic traits of patience, understanding, no judgment, pure love, all the things that love needs, then you still can love someone without being with that person. So it still can be a safe place for both parties, meaning like, I don't know if I should open up to this person because I don't really know if I can trust them. I don't really know if they're my person, but the fact that you're willing to take that risk to explore, to see, that's perfectly fine. And it's better to take that risk than not to, because a missed opportunity is no opportunity at all. And even if you miss, you closer to the win. You know? So
then if you didn't do anything,
you didn't do it at all, because it's still strengthening you and your resilience, because you can have a lot of no's before you get to yes. Some people will quit at the first no, or the second no, or the fifth no. Some people will take 50 no's, and then at 51, yes will be they win. So you building that resilience, that strength to keep going, even if you get disappointed, even if it didn't work out. But also understanding you have to explore with discernment. You have to explore with a level of understanding to still protect your peace, still protect your mental and everything that you need to get through all of the disappointment, because that's inevitable. But it's a part of life. It builds character, you know? So you understand how everybody else expressed themselves in a loving way, because it's still free will. It's still allowing someone to do exactly what they want, how they want to do it.
Right, with their own basis of understanding and loving themselves and all of that. So
wherever they're at in their life at that point, if they only explored 20% of themselves, or 40 or 50, when they get to a higher percentage of truly connecting with self, you have a better outcome, whether it's just friends, whether it's a relationship, a partnership, a businessship, you have a much better outcome depending on what level of understanding they are with self, because then it's going to help them understand how to connect and build relationships with other people on any level, because they understand love, self-love to be exact first.
And with what you're saying, there will not be much of a foundation if you don't have that, or if you aren't on the road to, finding that sense of self-love and self-awareness, and
it will be no foundation.
Okay, so let me ask you,
no foundation.
Do you think that love can find you when you don't have these things, and do you think you can flourish in love when you, I'm not going to say aren't prepared, but when it comes across your path and you weren't necessarily focused on it? Do you think, or better yet, what are the characteristics of a successful love? Because like I said, some people get hit, like a ton of bricks out of nowhere. And, they have these, they have certain ways that they are able to express certain things. But when it's like, I didn't know this. I was just talking to this person. I was just being nice. I was just,
They missed the clues. They missed all of the signs.
Right. Like, do you think, because I look at love as something that's like all encompassing. I don't look at love as just romantic. I think it's something that you can, like I said, it's something that you can exude, but love in and of itself, what is, like, how can you discern between, okay, I have to build this one, rather than, okay, this is, I don't know what to do. I'm not prepared. I'm not, I wasn't in this space. How do you maintain that sense of balance? Because I've never been somebody who was closed off, but I was sheltered.
Okay.
So me being sheltered, there were certain people who may have came across my path who have later told me, hey, I used to like you. I used to look at you a certain type of way, whatever. And it's like, me thinking that I'm practicing that self-love, which is protecting myself and all of that. Well, I just missed the main thing that I feel like I'm doing all of this stuff, for. So how would you, like, describe the best way to navigate?
Well, back to what I said, understanding, for one, what love is by understanding self-love, and then seeing where that person is at. It's easier to see what type of situation you are in and what type of connection you can or can't form with a person based off where you are at first, because sometimes we'll let fear, insecurities, all type of things stop us or blind us from what's right in front of us. And the opposite is true too. You can think that this is a good thing, but if with lack of discernment, lack of understanding true love for what it is, you can project what you think love is, what you would do in a situation, and you will put that on that person and give them a level of credit that they don't deserve, or the opposite, you would dismiss them when they're actually truth, and you will miss the mark, because it's all in where you are at first. That's the only way you will be able to see where someone else is at. And again, true unconditional love is no judgment. So you can see someone, you can see that they're in a space where you used to be trying to find themselves, a little lost. They figured it out a little bit, but they still kind of like not really grounded. They still not really standing on boundaries and principles and all the things because they still exploring. So they kind of shaky. Mm-hmm. And because you know what it's like to be in that space, you know what that type of situation would need, what type of energy it need, and then you will know for self if you can pour into that. Do you have enough mental capacity to give this situation, enough emotional space for this person to enter your life? Do you have that to give? Because when you're on a roll of self-love, healing, recovery from all the things and traumas, and you understand the importance of self-preservation and protecting your peace and all the things, you choose better. You choose much wisely. And it's not, someone isn't, I'm too good for you. It's not in a judgmental sense that this person isn't good enough. It's in a wise perspective that this isn't for me. This would hinder me. Yeah. This would destroy me possibly. This will require too much out of me that I don't have to give. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because you understand this person has to want it. They have to find themselves. You can't love someone to life. Yeah. You can aid them in helping them. You can't aid them in their journey. They have to already be on that journey because they have to have the open mind first to even receive. Most people, they don't want to unlearn what they think they know. Mm-hmm. They don't want to what they was brought up believing traditions. A lot of people, it's like their whole life will be a lie to them and they can't fathom that. So it's like they rather stay comfortable in their truths because to find themselves and explore new outlets, it will be uprooting all of that. Everything, years and decades of, your identity. Things you were told you are and who you should be and how you should act. So when you explore uncharted territory, it's like, hold on, what is this? I haven't been given the tools for none of it. I don't know nothing. You feel lost, you feel sad, you feel hurt, you feel, in some cases, empty. It's like, damn, what's this? Who am I? What's life? Why am I? And once you start asking those questions, what is the purpose of this thing called life? Why are we here? That's when you dig deeper. That's when you start soul searching. And that's when you truly start exploring what true self-love is. And that's when you get on that journey. So it's not a bad thing, but it feels sad in the process. But it's a beautiful outcome when you truly understand and connect the dots to what it took for you to get there. Right. Right. I understand that. I am definitely on that journey of figuring out what's self-love and what's me giving too much of myself. As far as like connections, friendships, people that I just know from whether it's like work or anything like that, I never try to. I think communal love is a little bit more important than individualistic love in practice. Because like you said, that self-love comes from within, before anything. But in practice, like when it manifests, I think a lot of those relationships that we do have that we aren't able to get certain things from, like when we're talking about a partner or anything like that, I think those are almost as important as that romantic and, that romantic type of love. I'm still at the point to where if I feel like, if I say I love you, if I've done things completely out of my wheelhouse specifically for you, I can't, I'm struggling to place boundaries on that because I'm such a fan of what I think love is and of what I know love to be at the same time. That's because that is love. Love is very selfless and you will sacrifice. You will go out your way. You love people based on how you love yourself in that sense. But some people if they have a level of abandonment issues or certain traumas that they have attachment styles that could be unhealthy, then they will love someone more than they love themselves, which is also not love, and it's not self-love, because you would pour so much of yourself out into the point where that saying goes, you lose yourself. And then a person will.
You ain't gotta attack me. Like, you ain't just put a name on a bullet. You might as well.
I mean, we all have experienced those experiences in some way, shape, or form. So it's universal. It's not so many people can relate for a reason. It might not look exactly the way your story have looked or my story, but trust me, we all have those, because that's just the way of life. We come in as a clean slate. We forget who we are. We come from this spiritual realm, and we come here like almost like newborn babies with no memory of who we are and how this operates. And I guess that is the experience too. I mean,
to learn and
to explore, just to get all of those feelings and those experiences. And that's the point. The memory, that's all you have at the end of the day. Memories, the experiences, and the way they make you feel. So ultimately, this is all about experiences and feelings, and just doing it from a clean slate with no powers, no just already made outlet. It's just
right.
Go ahead.
It's manifesting through the choices that you made,
exactly.
the stuff that you learned, the people that you encounter.
And that's what makes the experience. That's why it's about the journey, not the destination, because the journey is all the experiences. The journey is the point. We always trying to get somewhere, and we are missing all of the moments and all of the importance, because that's what life is. It's the experience. That's all it is, literally the experience, and then we're gone. So make the best out of your experience.
So what do you say to those people? What do you say to those people who aren't willing? Because I think love comes with that hurt that everybody tries to avoid. Not, and it's the ups and downs. It's like you said, it's the experiences. Whether they benefit you, whether they teach you something, whether you feel like you never needed to go through something. It is what it is. How do you feel about the people who aren't willing to accept that it's going to hurt. You're going to have to become a different person. You're going to have to grow. You're going to have, especially with everybody's favorite holiday coming up, Valentine's Day.
Which is I just love love. I mean, we are love. So love is one of the most important things and reasons why we're here. But to the people that aren't willing to take the risk to love, they're not living at all. And if it's just like anything, if you don't work for something and it's just given to you, you wouldn't appreciate it. You wouldn't value it. It wouldn't feel like anything. You didn't put anything into it. You just got it. But if you have to work, sweat, tears, and you're going to appreciate it so much more. You're going to feel the connection. With no connection, it's a void. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have the connection with the thing in order to feel it. So if you're too scared because of hurt, a lot of times, you have to experience what something isn't to understand what it is, because you can just have it and it'll just feel like regular. You wouldn't understand that this is something to appreciate, something to value, or how precious it is if you just get it. It's just like not knowing the difference between right or wrong. It's just what it is. And if you can't determine between the two, then you're just like, oh, it's no feeling really to have with the thing. It's just like
you try to run from certain aspects of love when it's like that's not really how it works.
Or just understanding that the reason why we go through pain, trials, and tribulations is to understand what it because if you never experience what something isn't, then how do you know what it feels like when it is? You know what I'm saying? So not understanding what pain feels like, not understand, because also you wouldn't know what you're made of. You wouldn't know what your true powers are if you wasn't tested and challenged. And that's what makes some of the greatest love stories when people have been through things, because those are the people who appreciate things, the little things, the things that matters the most in life, when they know what it's like to not have it.
Yeah.
They know what it's like to
without, and yeah.
Versus the people that just is nothing to people with so much money that money is nothing to them. They're like, oh, okay. The people without money is all like, hold on, I need that. I need it. It's like this urgency for it, versus that middle ground where you kind of like, I got enough. I appreciate what I have. I'm going to value it. I'm going to budget myself. You've handled it with more care and more intention. So it's a balance. You can't be on one side of the spectrum too heavy, or you can't be all the way on the other end of it. It's a healthy balance, understanding both sides of it, or enough of it to understand what it'll be like if you was on this side of it, right, or if you was not on this side of it. You know what I'm saying? So having these experiences or seeing other people experience, it's so many different ways to experience pain or trials and tribulations firsthand, secondhand, but to understand it is the key. So then you can know and value when you do have it, or how to have it,
right?
How to receive it and how to give it. So it's all interconnected. It's connected.
So we mentioned Valentine's Day. How do you personally? I know you said you love love. You're a big lover girl. How do you feel about Valentine's Day and what it represents?
Well, the same way I feel about love. I feel like love is the ultimate purpose, and it's such a beautiful thing in every area. It's not just, romantic love. It's just the way that we care for one another as human beings. And it's such a warm feeling. It's so peaceful. I love to feel the deepness of things, you know what I'm saying? Because it feels like something, So I think Valentine's Day, even though, you have it's a pagan holiday, you have all the things, I really do try to express myself in this life with no limits, with no titles, with no
as you should,
fear,
as you should.
But also being aware, because I do feel like you want to also be aware. You don't want to just think you could do anything with no, because consequences are real. You can definitely get yourself into some things unintentionally. So always aware. But Valentine's Day, I think it's a beautiful thing. I mean, if we put for what it is, not for it just to be
buying stuff and this, then, and third, but to actually
truly make someone feel special, to feel extra love. I mean, I like sparkles. I like razzle dazzle. So some people say, it's just another day. I mean, life is just another day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everything that you create how big or small you want it to be. So if you want grandiose, make it grandiose. If you like simple and small, okay. If you like razzle dazzle, do you. That's the point of life. Just do what makes you happy. And everybody else's judgment, that's the problem. But that shouldn't matter. When you are in your truth and you do what makes you happy, you let people do what makes them happy, things can be great. But Valentine's Day is definitely, I love the day. I mean, I'm not... I appreciate everything for what it is. I mean, it's all a perspective thing, you know what I'm saying? But I do love love. I don't like the term hopeless romance, because I feel like love itself, people say this feeling that you have for someone, you're delusional. I think love is that perfect and that beautiful that it can feel like delusion, because people are so used to trauma and pain, and they're more content with accepting disappointment than they are accepting beautiful, painless things.
I'm definitely one of those people who would get somebody's name tatted first day I meet you.
I mean,
you feel me? I definitely you for
it's real, you know what I'm saying?
I understand.
But we all truly, if it wasn't for fear and heartbreak, everybody would truly, like, we are like little kids, excited for the things that we love, excited to do the things we want to do, even as adults. Anything that we're excited about, we like. Anxious, but we keep it calm and cool because we grown, and we don't, so we learn how to regulate our emotions and have more emotional intelligence, but at the same time, at the core, we are who we are. We just kids exploring life, and we keep evolving and keep finding new parts of ourselves and new strengths in ourselves and weaknesses as well, but all the things. And it's just a part of life. It's the process. So yes, I think love is such a beautiful experience, but it's such a great feeling. People don't want it to end. People don't want to fall out of love. People don't want to feel like they in it alone, or they put everything, because it could feel like your heart is literally being ripped out of your chest. But when you understand what self-love is and you have it for self, breaking apart from someone else wouldn't feel like a death to you. Yeah. It would definitely feel like a great, great pain, but it wouldn't feel like I can't do this without this person. I mean, unless you spend 50 years with that person and even understand that self-love, that's still like, we became one. Literally. But life is you got to understand that is more valuable than the things that you feel like is only valuable. Like, even without love is valuable. Without romantic love is valuable. Yeah. Even if it's just you, it's still valuable. So having those memories is beautiful. Not having that person anymore, you still have the memories. You still have the times. And now you can create that with someone new if that didn't work out. Yeah. But the ultimate goal, I believe, is to find the right person so you don't have to keep going through the things, Man,
I'm about ready to give me an island. You know what I'm saying? All my people become all the rest. But
still want that one person. If you had the choice, of course, you will want that island with your love. So, as we all would.
I just need my soulmate to stop playing. I just need, my forever person to go ahead and just look. I done did what I did. What you did, what you got going on, we could talk about it. But look, I'm just tired. I'm tired. But still speaking on the concept of Valentine's Day, was there any specific moment in love, whether it was on Valentine's Day or just that, that romanticism and being boisterous about, your love? Have you ever experienced something that kind of changed, like, oh wow, this is what love is? Oh wow, this
in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Ironically, I always, as a little girl, I can remember. I was maybe 5. My dad came in a room. I was at his house at the time. He came in the room, and the Black Cinderella, Brandy. He came in with the box. He had the CD, and I was just sitting in there. I was watching some on TV, and he was like, "Baby girl, you want to watch this?" And I looked up. And it was like, I was just like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. She got this pretty blue dress on. I want to watch it. So I fell in love with the concept of love based off of Cinderella. And in my mind, even though it was so superficial, it was so not realistic. But the little girl in me, the little girl me didn't understand it. I just was like, that's happiness. Because they show you this dazzling distress, this poor woman, unhappy, unfair, untreated, treated like trash, until this man come and save her.
Yeah. I like how you were talking about, because it seemed like it planted a seed within you, and it allowed you to you saw this one, and then it's like, especially from, having a figure like a father give you something and you just completely fell in love with it. I can see how that was real powerful, especially in that moment. So what do you think it taught you, or what do you think it influenced you to or how do you think that impacted your actual actions or the things that you think about when it comes to how you want to be loved, or
That's exactly what it did. It made me think that that's how I was supposed to be loved. I had this idea that I was supposed to be chased, he has to really, because she was running away from him, and he was trying to find her with the glass slipper. He was going to all these measures to find this one girl. So in my mind, it's oh, if he really loved me, he gonna do all that. I'm going, and then it was almost my test to see, and it wasn't necessarily that I wanted to play games. That was just my idea of love. If a man really wants you, he gonna come get you. He gonna he gonna jump hurdles. And to me, I think that's what made me identify real from fake. That was my test of, oh, if he really wants to, he gon', and if he don't, then he really didn't want that. He didn't want me that bad, and I need to be wanted bad because I just like that passionate, deep, deep feeling. It's surface is not enough for me. Superficiality is not. It's like it gotta be deep. You gotta really want it,
Yeah.
and not. It took me to get older to truly understand like that's not pursuing. You know, it can be borderline chasing, and that's annoying for women. I don't like to be chased, especially if I don't want you. It's like no means no.
Oh, so not every woman likes to be chased.
Women don't want to be chased by that men that they just don't want to be chased. And we don't want to be chased, period. Honestly, we want to be pursued properly. You know, so the pursuit is a man actually showing up and showing his qualities of a man and what he brings to a woman. Like, can you provide a safe space for me emotionally, mentally, spiritually? Can I be my true self and not be controlled in a way that you may think a woman's supposed to be? Like your ideas of what a woman is and how you want a woman to be, and you nitpick and all the things like
So I'm sorry not to cut you off. So you're kind of like it becomes a novelty when you're being chased instead of you actually wanting the quality of my life to increase or to improve, or instead of you actually wanting to add some type of value. You're saying that chasing something
it's just lust. Chase is lust.
Yeah, and it's
a lot of times it is no depths to that. It's just like, I want you so bad because you're pretty, you're beautiful, and all the things. It's lust. It's no deepness with it. There's no substance with that. Like women want to be seen. I want to know that you want me because you see me. You see my soul. You see what makes me different from any other individual. Like you see me, and that's what you're intrigued by. You see my heart. You see my intelligence. You see my talents. You see my creativity. You see just what makes me such a special person. And you want that, and you feel like that is something that you can cherish and value, and I can add value to you as well. And I just want to know that it's worth me giving you my services as a woman, my value, my life force, and all the things that I add to a man's life. You have to have substance as well, and standards, and something deeper, you know? So
I got a question. So when it comes to like being pursued, when it comes to those people like giving you those those the signs that they want you, the cues of I want to walk out, I'm gonna walk up to this woman, introduce myself, this and the third. When it comes to that, do you allow yourself to, okay, let's say, do you allow yourself to perceive that person as an individual before you even think about what the things that this person may have that you might like, or like is it more so, are you always in that lens of
what they can do for me versus who they are?
Is this person trying to talk to me? Is this person trying to be with me?
So for me personally, how do I perceive someone approaching me? I want to know their intentions. I want to know, why are you, what is motivating you?
Yeah. So as far as how men and women, we can talk about like, the other genders and all of that, but I'm not within that reality, so I can't really speak for other groups of people. So I kind of want to, we can kind of, but how men and women exhibit love. I've been taught all my life that it's, if you want a happy life, have to have a happy wife. Now, not saying that I want an unhappy wife. I'm not saying that, but I just think that's kind of there's a little bit of as far as the labor that goes into it, there's a little bit of an imbalance because just like you said, since a little girl, you've been marketed to that, people will, are supposed to chase you. They're supposed to, tend to those needs and things like that. I think that leads a lot of people into thinking that, oh, if you aren't this complete and done project, then you're not the one for me. What are your thoughts on how men and women choose to love?
I think everybody chooses to love according to what love is to them, whether it's a healthy view of love or not. But for women, we have a lot of false perceptions of love based off, again, television and things we've been told, and the same for men. But ultimately, love is, I think, learning your person, because everybody have different styles of love and what they feel like love is. If I'm actively learning you and tending to your need, and you're doing the same for me, both parties are happy. It's not just happy wife, happy life, happy wife, happy life, happy husband, happy life. Like, both parties need to be happy, need to be fulfilled. Because if I'm tending to your needs and you're tending to mine, then nobody's left out, and it's not one-sided. How can I be happy if you're truly not happy, and you making me happy doesn't make you happy?
That's the thing. Like, a lot of women think that, oh, you give me these things, and I'm not saying women are just like not loving men. I'm definitely not saying that. But I'm saying a lot of men, and we do need to, be direct with, the type of communication and how we're feeling internally, because you will never know how we're feeling. But a lot of men aren't loved correctly. And when I say loved correctly, I mean certain things are expected. Just because my heart pumps blood doesn't mean I'm going to be like, okay, well, you're supposed to do this. Like, no, you're literally keeping me alive. My heart is keeping me alive. My heart is, that intelligent force that allows me to love somebody without needing anything in return. So I'm more so on the side of how can we even those playing fields? Because like I said, men are so unhappy because, we talk to each other, but we don't talk to each other like that. Like, we don't, it's almost always just like we kicking it, or, unless something real happens. It's surface level. That time that we spend together and the things that we may be willing to do for each other is there, but it doesn't necessarily always have to come to those situations to where there has to be some type of big outpouring of love. It's like, when women take it upon themselves to critique something that is almost a reflection of them.
In a man.
Yeah. Oh, you don't open up to me. Oh, you don't talk to me. Oh, that's because whenever that does happen, it's always on your terms. You feel what I'm saying? How do you think our general society can navigate loving each other in different types of ways?
First, by loving yourself better.
Yeah.
It
all comes back to that.
Boils down to the root, because once you understand, because a lot of people beat themselves up. They feel like they're not good enough. Like, if you are hard on yourself, you will be hard on other people.
I'm very hard on myself.
If you don't even give yourself grace, don't even give yourself patience, it's going to be real easy to dismiss somebody else or shut someone else out. But when you see how much, like a baby, need nurturing, attending to their emotions, calmness, like patience, that's what we all need, to be cared, like how we care for a newborn baby, not in a sense physically, but emotionally, understanding that
in all the ways, honestly.
Yeah,
all the way.
Pretty much. But understanding with a level of maturity that this is needed to feel safe, A man needs a safe space just like women need safe space. A man needs an emotional safe space. A woman needs an emotional safe space. So if we give each other that level of grace and we're actually going into things with intention and not just surface level, because a lot of men do move with no intent.
Yeah.
So you won't get anything out of that other than that momentary pleasure that you really not getting, because the moment is gone, and you feel disconnected again. You feel empty again, and you feel like you got to fill that void again. So you just constantly chasing this feeling, and you're never resolving the real issue, which is deeper at the core, and you're not connected with yourself. So you always have to do something to feel something instead of just be internally fulfilled. So a lot of people are disconnected. That's why they never could be satisfied with anyone, no matter who it is, because you're not satisfied with yourself. You're not happy with yourself. You haven't fully accepted yourself.
Yeah.
So you would never believe someone else truly accepts you for you, or you will never fully accept someone else for them. We always are criticizing ourselves, critiquing ourselves, so we do the same to others. We literally operate in the way that we operate with ourselves. That's why self-love is a projection. When you understand self-love, you understand how to love. You see what I'm saying? So it's definitely connected, and that's the core.
Do you think that self-love is the best chance that somebody may have at actually experiencing love?
That's the ultimate way. And don't get me wrong, you have those exceptions where some people find that person that is very patient, and they know how to help someone recognize love and help someone recognize how to love, so then they understand self-love. Sometimes you can't pour into someone if you have that in you, if you have that enough space, time, commitment, patience, if you find that person worthy, because a lot of times that's taking a big risk, knowing where you are, going on your healing journey, and seeing someone that hasn't healed or is in their process. That's taking on a lot. Not everybody can carry that burden. A lot of times we can't even carry our own burdens. We cast them off too, So imagine carrying someone else's burden. So that's a huge.
Because do that though.
I mean, it's so easy. Look, it's so easier said.
You get into it with the whole.
It's so easier said than done. But that's what love makes you feel like. I would do anything for this person, anything, until it's time to do anything. Because when it's depleting you, when it's taking your stress levels up, when it's taking away your. But how can you be happy if you're not at peace? How can you be happy if you always stressed? How can you be happy? Because then you will start to resent that person for needing you so much. Then you will start feeling like the reciprocation isn't there. So where am I pouring from? My cup is empty. So that's why that's a dangerous game to play. That's why you have to know what you can and can't do. That's how, even if a person can meet you to a certain percent, even if it ain't all the way.
Yeah.
If we can meet halfway, but if you have to go all the way back to get them, that may be too much for you. So
I like what you said, because I do think this guy, he was a scientist, and he was talking about like hot and cold. So let's say, for example, hot was love. Hot was that, the love that we all aspire to or have or anything like that. And cold is the opposite of that. So when we think about hot and cold, or in this case, love and something that's not love, we think of it in the sense of, it's this and then there's this. But what you kind of alluded to was, there's a presence of love and there's an absence of love. There's not really an opposite. Because you can say you hate something, or you can say this, then, a third, but love is way more encompassing than to just have that one singular emotion that can serve to be the opposite of what true love actually is. But, just like you said, the guy who's pouring from an empty vessel, he doesn't have the healthy love that he needs to be able to pour. And I think that was a lot of how I've learned to, set certain boundaries, but also how I learned to, appreciate myself, because there are a lot of things that I feel like I might want to talk about, I might want to do, and I just I sometimes have an issue with, okay, am I giving this person unconditional love or am I neglecting myself? Because I don't want to pour from that, like you said, it turns to resentment. All of those things can be the same. All of those things can be like, okay, this person is attentive to me, this person is, warm and all of that. But when you're not pouring from a good place from within, it becomes a lack thereof, which then makes everything look pessimistic. Like you said, man, you hit me up too much. You always doing this, down the third. When honestly, it's just a me thing, not having, having that love to pour from. So
Because
yeah,
an empty cup will pour out what? Nothing.
nothing.
So now it's frustration. Now it's irritation. Now it's like where it was so much love you was eager to give first.
Yeah.
Now it's nothing, and nothing is being poured back. It's like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Like, and then you will start feeling unappreciated. Then you will start feeling, and a lot of times that person could, or in most cases won't be aware of what their lack, because they are already in their space of unhealed trauma, and you're trying to get them to see something that they haven't seen for themselves yet, which is why so much more work on you. But ultimately, you have to understand how to love. It's like, when it's right, when it feels right, because the person is loving you the way you're loving them, meaning you are seeing what they like and what they feel like and what makes them do what. So you are attending to certain needs to see them happy. And then you see if they're doing the same for you. Oh, she think about me. Oh, she do this. Oh, she's so considerate. Oh, if I need her, if you can count on somebody. If somebody care about your emotions. If somebody will sacrifice for you. Because if you needed something, would you be hesitant to call them? Because intuitively you would know, like, who you hesitate. Like, if you hesitate, then that's already letting you know you don't feel safe with this person. You don't really feel like this person have your back. If you make excuses for why a person wouldn't do something that you need for them, you already know. Yeah. So that's how you know. When you know, hands down, no doubt that you can count on somebody, that's when you know that you feel safe with that person. That's when you know that you believe that that person cares about you. And that's how you kind of assess. We know, if we really pay attention to our spirit and our intuition, we know when somebody cares about us and when somebody is really like, vetting us properly and they actually have intention with us, versus when they really don't and you're confused and you're trying to figure out. A lot of times we can answer our own questions.
Honestly.
Really.
And I do like how you, I want to bring it back. I do like how you said the most powerful love, if not, God's love, is that self-love, which honestly is kind of hand in hand. Yeah, it's hand in hand.
God is love.
Exactly.
Self-love is love, which is God. So it's all connected.
Yeah, it's like
it's all connected.
I like how you put it in that sense, because I think it's just like when you notice somebody is having a bad day and you're like, hey, you're not yourself. Whereas like, this is you without love, or this is you with a certain situation that's pulling something away from you. And I think, as far as talking about how differently men and women can love, I think there's way more misunderstandings and misconceptions than there needs to be. Sometimes, and I'm gonna tell you, like, I've been somebody who has not avoided, but I strayed away from certain women who I felt like were perfect, because I didn't feel like I was.
You see what stopped you? It was your own insecurity.
It was my own insecurity.
I said self-love is the first, because when you're fearless, when you believe in yourself, when you believe you can do anything, you wouldn't let any external validations or invalidations stop you. You wouldn't even stop yourself, because you already missed the opportunity by not shooting your shot, because you already mentally believed you lost.
Right.
But you didn't know that. But you already gave yourself a thumbs now. Why? That's not operating out of self-love. Self-love is confidence. Self-love is believing in self. Self-love is faith. And it's like, if you believe you can do whatever it is you want to do, you can achieve it. You just got to figure out how to achieve it. You wouldn't doubt and say, oh, I'm not good enough for that. No, I can do this. So I'm going to do it. And I'm going to get better and better each day until I make it, you know? So why tell yourself, oh, she's too this, she's too that?
The part of me that loves unconditionally, sometimes I look at other people and I look at what I know that I would bring to them. And I'm not saying like I'm a terrible person or nothing like that, but I know I'm aware of myself. I'm aware of my perceived shortcomings. I'm aware of the things that I feel like I may need to work on and all of that. I don't want to harm nobody. I don't want to give nobody any type of strife, which is why I would have, and again, you said that's not self-love because the quality of life is better with love in general.
But love is also knowing when to and when not to. It's not just you go all in or not at all. It's understanding where you're at and what you need and what can you, if someone is on a certain path and you're on a certain path and you see where they're at and you see where you're at, not knowing, recognizing that I can't give them what they need because of what I need right now, because of where I'm at. I don't have that to give because X, Y, and Z. That's also love. It's setting boundaries for yourself. It's understanding what you are and what you're capable of and what you may not have to give right now. Yeah. That's also love, because some people will just go after anyway, knowing that they can't give somebody what they need, whether it's mentally, emotionally, and that's very important for them for a healthy relationship, and they know they can't meet those standards. That's not fair to that person. It's not just about you. Loving is also knowing what's best for somebody else, or if you're just not for somebody else, and the same vice versa.
That was a kind of nice little time to look.